Hey guys, welcome back. We got a great show for you today. We got a great topic and great guest. Black Widow will be our review. Was it good? Was it needed? I don't know. We'll talk about it. Brian, cue the intro. Coming to you from 1920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California, in the heart of Undercity Comics. I'm your host, Renee.
This is Brian.
And welcome to the show, everyone.
Woo! Yay! You changed it by a little bit.
I did.
Because you said at the heart of Undercity Comics.
Yeah.
It's the heart of O-Town Whittier!
Heart of O-Town Whittier. It's hard to keep track with your intro that you rewrote for me.
It's been like 5 issues already, buddy.
So we got a great show for you guys. We're going to talk about Black Widow. But on top of that, we have special guests.
Yes. So from Our Real Addiction, a local podcast also that started here in Whittier, if I'm not mistaken, right?
And San Diego.
San Diego. Perfect. Yes. Our guests for today, Adam and Miguel. Woo!
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah.
Honestly, we appreciate it. I know it's like early morning on a Saturday, which you usually don't want to do, but we appreciate you guys being on here with us. So thank you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Before we begin, where
Absolutely.
can our listeners follow you guys or find you guys?
So you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Also, you can find us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, I believe Google Podcasts as well. All under Our Real Addiction. We're not on Twitter yet, but I'm sure at some point we'll be there.
Some point.
Yeah, and probably TikTok because the power of TikTok is just insane.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's extensive.
Between the two of you guys, who runs the socials?
That would be me.
Adam,
Yeah,
for sure. Adam.
Yeah.
Adam has more control that I for one, I keep forgetting the logins, so that's my bad.
Yeah.
Adam, there's just so much, but Adam definitely has more of a appeal there. He's definitely more interactive. He's always posing questions. He just wants more of the listeners' feedback because that's what we love. We drive on that. So
Yeah.
it's definitely
here.
Adam.
Yeah, for sure. No, I feel you. The whole login thing sometimes because Renee and I, we have a little bit of problems kind of remembering our logins sometimes. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, Renee's the social media guy and I handle all the production stuff. So
Yeah,
that
like
comes
you
naturally.
just logged into, I think it was like our Instagram not that long ago.
Yeah, and I was
You
like,
just
oh,
did it.
Oh shoot, I
after
forgot.
like a year and a half.
I forget the login so bad that I'm just too scared to ask Adam because he's gonna be like again, and I think it's probably like the fourth time already at this point. And he sent me the text, but I don't know what's I don't know what happens. It just kind of it disappears into the void. I think it's a lie.
So we're going to talk about Black Widow today,
Yes.
and one of the reasons why we brought you guys on is because you guys are a podcast that centralizes on film, right? Film, movies, and stuff like that. Yeah,
The
Definitely.
entertainment aspect of because we talk a little bit about video games, TV shows as well.
gotcha.
But, you know,
Yeah.
anything we want to talk about,
Yeah, of course. And you guys are huge MCU fans, right?
Yeah.
We are.
Yes.
Definitely.
So why not talk about the recent MCU movie that finally came
Oh my
out on
God.
theaters?
Yeah.
14
Thank
months
God.
later.
14 months?
Yeah.
been
Because it was
a
May
whole-
2020 that was supposed to come out.
Yeah.
I thought it was 2019 that it was scheduled.
No, 2019 was Endgame.
Mhm.
The last
Yeah,
film we had was
2020.
Far From Home in July of 2019.
Dude, I got goosebumps just hearing all
It's-
that. It's,
Yeah.
it's so long.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the same thing. I was like, who else got goosebumps just seeing that roll credit of the Marvel intro, man? I was like, I was gonna be the first one to clap in that movie theater, but I didn't want to be the first one to clap in the movie theater, so I just kind of let it out and I internalized all those emotions. But I was having
Yeah.
the
You know
biggest
what?
smile.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we all saw it in the movie theater then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
You saw it twice.
I saw it opening night, and then I went right after work. So
Why would
Good,
not why, because when Star Wars Force Awakens came out, I think I saw it like a total of 5 times.
Oh, yeah,
dude,
same
I saw
here.
Endgame 9 times in theater,
Holy
Yeah,
and I cried every single time.
I saw Infinity War like 7 times. in a
Yeah,
theater.
I saw it 6.
couldn't-
One for each stone.
I can't.
One time for each stone. I'm being serious.
He's like, I gotta
He's
do
not
this.
lying. This is true. I have screen caps of his tickets just because I was like, again,
Oh, yeah.
and then it's like snap.
I
Again,
used
it's
to,
like snap.
I used to collect them. They were still doing movie stubs at the time,
Yeah.
and I collected them probably about a month up until about a month before they took them away.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because
Okay.
then everything went digital, and this
Yeah.
was even before the
I
pandemic.
COVID.
don't know. I don't like that they don't give you a movie stub anymore.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was like part of the fun.
You can request them still. Fun fact. You can still like, hey, can I have my ticket printed? But it's not gonna be like legit ones. It's gonna be the paper receipt.
Yeah,
which kind
it's not the
It's like a
same.
receipt.
It's not the same.
It just feels
It's-
like a receipt.
Yeah.
that like thin what is it, like construction paper that they use?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Like for me, I think I've cried maybe 3 or 4 times in MCU movies. One of the first ones was when the title sequence for Queens showed up in Civil War.
Oh,
Because I'm a
yeah.
huge Spider-Man
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
So the moment I saw it, I was like bawling because I'm like, oh my God, like I can't believe that this is like I'm living a moment where we get to see Spider-Man with other Avengers. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was
Chills.
oh my God.
We almost got it back in like 2002
We almost, but I mean it's
because
just
Logan was supposed to be in it. They had plans for Hugh Jackman to cameo as Logan in the first Spider-Man film.
oh
Yeah.
But that was before the whole merger. Well, that would have been
Oh, yeah.
complicated.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, like back then it was kind of difficult because I mean studios weren't kind of like used to working together. You kind of did with like
Well, I feel like it was a lot easier because there wasn't the whole legal aspect of it.
I thought it was a lot harder because I know Who Framed Roger Rabbit with Warner Brothers trying to work with Disney was a little bit complicated because that one featured
Oh yeah,
some
the
Looney Tunes
yeah,
in
that's
there
right.
with
Yeah,
Disney characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a completely different topic. We're here to
Yeah,
talk about Black
yeah.
Widow. So
Yes.
We
um,
go on and on about that.
yeah, we can't.
Oh, yeah. We can sidetrack
I was
so
like,
easy.
oh, we're
us
getting, like,
too. Us too.
Industry political thing. Like,
So let's just
I
jump
was like-
straight into Black Widow. We've all seen it. We saw it opening night, and well, you guys are a guest. So what did you guys think of the movie? And real quick, I forgot to mention, I'm the one editing the podcast, so
Oh yeah.
language carefully. This is a
okay,
family.
Cap.
It's because
Okay, Captain.
it just
I
now
was like,
got
I
it.
just got
yeah,
it.
It just hit Brian right now.
Oh my God, man! Don't call me Captain America because I'm wearing a Captain America hat right now.
The ego. It's
Wow.
so funny.
Yeah, I didn't
That's
even notice that.
definitely the alternate universe because Adam Iron Man, and then that's for sure. Okay.
For sure, conspiracy, right?
Yeah.
No, but I'll tell you right
Wow.
now, Cap in the MCU is my least favorite character.
Really?
Yes, and the only reason why is because I forget what movie it was where he comes out in the end credits and is like, "Oh, you guys stayed here till the end credits and expected an end credits."
Oh, that was
Oh,
in Spider-Man Homecoming.
that
That was in Homecoming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
F him.
Why? Because you
Thanks.
didn't like to be called out?
Yeah, I did. I was like, "What the heck, Cap?" Anyways,
I think that's just the MCU like just trolling us because they've been doing
yeah.
that ever
Mhm.
since.
Yeah.
so you decide
like
to
a
troll?
while now.
You decide to troll me on my
Yeah.
favorite character's movie? Excuse me? No, I won't stand for that. I will not.
Hilarious.
Anyways, go for it, guys. What did you guys think of the Black Widow?
You want to go ahead, Miguel?
Yeah.
Adam, oh, you want? Yeah, sure. Oh my God, fun! I from beginning to end, I had such a fun time with it. I was hooked. I don't think there was a dull moment, and usually, like halfway through the middle of a movie, I tend to have to go to use the restroom. I didn't even have to go to use the restroom with this
Same.
movie. I was just
Same.
like glued to it, and my bladder was in complete like understanding of me not wanting to leave the seat. So I thank my bladder at the same time. But I had so much fun. I think Scarlett Johansson embodies Black Widow at this point. Like this finalizes it. We've been knowing that. But the introduction of Red Guardian and Yelena, and obviously also Rachel Weisz's character, I forget her name, but I
Oh,
think those
Molina?
were great
Molina,
introductions.
yeah.
Like Molina, I think, or Molina.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Molina. Yeah.
There we go. Thank you guys. They make just I love them. I want more Red Guardian. I think David Harbour is hilarious. I think he nailed his Russian whatever it is accent.
Exactly.
I think every time he spoke was just gold.
Mhm.
He had a bunch of one-liners. Also, I love how Yelena has that instant like it's funny because we haven't seen or heard of her at all, but their dynamic as sisters real or fake, whatever it is so pure.
No, it's real.
You can
100%
definitely,
real.
and they
Natural.
just picked
It
it up.
naturally rolled
They
off.
just, and it was incredible. Without revealing too much of this, I don't know if we're doing spoilers.
Oh
but
no!
without
If you're
revealing-
listening to this issue,
It's spoilers.
it's spoilers. Like
Yeah.
spoiler warnings
Oh,
are
okay,
in the
for
title.
sure. Spoiler warning.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
If we have listeners that are like, I haven't seen the
Yeah.
movie, no.
It was
Why are you listening to
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, so
Why?
Awesome.
Sorry,
Okay,
I
for
gotta
sure.
voice
Just wanted
Nick.
to.
I gotta voice
spoiler,
Nick.
yeah.
Let me voice Nick for a second, or one of our other co-hosts. Pause the podcast, go watch the movie, and then come back and listen to us. That's how Nick usually talks. That's what he said. Remember last time I said like, oh, stop listening to us? He's like, no. Pause the issue, go watch the movie, and then come back, and then you can listen to the rest of it.
watch, and then we're gonna hear about it next week on the podcast.
Oh, he's gonna say
how
he's gonna roast
how
me,
he
man.
Imitated you.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna, that's not
imitate
how
you.
I sound. And then he's gonna say, I don't know. He's gonna roast me. Anyway,
That's not how I
I
sound.
think it was a pretty good impression.
thank you.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
Adam,
But
this is
I don't
why-
know
I
who
remember
Nick
Nick.
is.
I remember Nick.
Hi, Nick.
I mean, he's gonna listen to this episode when it gets released. So
I don't listen to my own content. What the heck, man?
if I'm not in, I'm not listening. That's it.
Where's the support in that?
It's Nick, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, we love
him.
Nick. We love
No,
him.
he was great. He was great.
Anyways, so Miguel, continue.
Taskmaster as a villain, great. I think that was fun. The reveal didn't see coming, but at the same time I did, because it was sort of revealed by Loki prior. I don't know if you remember that conversation in the Avengers when Loki was talking to Black Widow was saying like all that blood in her hands, and then he like mentions the daughter.
Mhm.
Draco's daughter.
That was definitely that was interesting. And that just kind of pieced the two things in terms of like why was she brought up, and it's not just her death was the reason, but finding out about Budapest a little more, because they always had that running joke along the movies with Clint, and I think some really fun action set pieces here. That whole jail scene was a lot of fun. But overall, as a movie, guys, I really enjoyed it. And I want to see more of Yelena for sure.
Yeah.
I think I'm in love with her. I think that's and that's it. I'm okay with letting go, because that's exactly what we did with Black Widow.
Let go.
I think-
It's okay.
You just gotta let her go.
Can we say it's safe to assume that you're into the female leads that are a little more aggressive and a little more like into your face insulting?
Oh yeah, I can.
Oh, I
answer
love
for
that.
him.
Yeah, absolutely. Spin me across. I don't care. Just
100%
it's
relatable.
awesome.
See,
It's super awesome.
I can relate to Miguel here
Yeah,
because we
that's
have a
true.
running joke on the show because I think it was like a couple issues ago I was mentioning that I was like really into the iCarly reboot when it came out, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I like because I think Renee and Nick were more Drake and Josh fans, and then I was an I loved iCarly,
Yeah.
and they were like, oh, it's because you like Miranda Cosgrove, and I'm like, no, I was more into Sam's character. I like the whole like aggressive, toxic personality.
Toxic.
That's
That's it.
that's the thing. Yeah. I can
Oh,
go
so do I.
Yeah.
So do I.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
It's the reversal. It's like I can change her.
Yeah. No.
Maybe I can save her.
Maybe I can save her. Maybe I'm the one she needs.
Is that what you believe?
And in
No.
what ways can she fix me?
Not at all. Not at all. I don't think that. I think no. but I think I'd like to hear what Adam has to say about this. I think since he's seen it twice, now he has more of a
Yeah, I know.
of a more of like a infield. First opinion versus second opinion. What'd you think?
Okay, I thought it was even better the second time.
Yeah.
But I walked out thinking like, where does this take place, before Midsummer or after Midsummer? Like
I was like, wait a minute.
Because
I
the
didn't get-
actress is
Yeah,
Midsummer.
so-
That's pretty funny.
I was like-
Oh my god.
I'm-
You know what?
I'm not getting these jokes. It like clicks in
Oh,
after
yeah.
a second. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, okay, I got it.
Also, no Mephisto. It was like the biggest disappointment in the movie. Like,
Jesus.
I know he's there.
He's-
Like,
he's
I know
He's
somewhere.
hiding in the corners,
Yeah.
man. He's there.
Yeah.
No, honestly, walking out of it, I felt this was everything that they wanted to do with Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Because Captain Marvel was such a letdown
Mhm.
in terms of hyping up.
The character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had the hype of the MCU at the time, because the MCU was at as hype as it could possibly be at that point. But yeah, in terms of, it had the strong female lead and it had an amazing supporting cast. you know.
Now that you mention it, yeah, it's kind of funny now that like I think about it, because when Captain Marvel came out, like it was huge because it was like it's not considered the first female-led MCU movie, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's not
Marvel?
the first superhero female film, because Wonder Woman was.
Yeah,
that was the first time.
This is the Captain Marvel was the first MCU female.
Yeah.
MCU
Lead.
specific
Yeah.
lead. Okay, so then yeah, now that I think about it, now that you mention it, yeah, 100% agree.
Also, I had a little worry that waiting so long for it, fans are going to be a little underwhelmed, and they're like, "We waited all this. You should have just released it on Disney Plus." But after that opening scene, where you see everything that Scarlett Johansson went through, well, Natasha Romanoff, I should say, went through.
Yeah.
Like had me hooked. Like I felt like, okay, yeah, like you got my attention.
It didn't feel like an MCU movie at first.
It was pretty dark.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, definitely.
It was pretty dark.
We
I was
wa-
getting like, oh, are we getting like child trafficking right now? Like what?
Yeah.
And we walked into
Pretty
the
much
movie,
what it was.
So I checked that actually. We missed maybe like no more than like 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, yeah, because we walked in the movie late, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I like did not feel like I walked in and I was doubting. I'm like, is this Black Widow? Like I didn't think it was, because the atmosphere and the way it was shot was 100% different,
It had all the themes of like Winter Soldier in it.
but on steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I enjoyed it so much. Before we get to our stuff, better question for you is this, Adam. Did you go, and Miguel too, did you guys go in with this into this movie with any expectations at all? Like, were you guys like super hyped about it, or were you like, let's just give it a shot kind of mentality?
If it doesn't make $1 billion, I'm going to be disappointed.
All right, so you went in with expectations then.
No. Okay, if this was 2020 and we never had a pandemic, this film was easily $1 billion film. I think so. Especially it's the first film after Endgame. Iron Man 3 got the boost from Avengers a year later.
Yes, okay.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, but wasn't the first movie after Endgame Spider-Man Far From Home?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Here's why I would say. Here's why I'm kind of disagreeing with you just a little bit, Adam. And Miguel, I know you're going to say something. I'm going to jump in. I want to see if you agree with me on this.
Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
The reason I say that this movie probably wouldn't have been like, I don't think it's like $1 billion. Like no movie has really reached $1 billion. It's going to be a high-grossing movie, is what you're saying, right? Like it would have been like automatically like one of the big ones. I don't think it would have been if there wasn't a stall, and that's because Black Widow isn't necessarily a name that sells for Marvel. Like when it was first announced, people were kind of like, well, what the heck? Like, why do we really need a movie? It'd be interesting because we haven't really dissected the character of Black Widow.
Yeah.
But also, you pointed this out yesterday. Yeah. This movie should have came out, before Infinity War. It only made sense because it takes place kind of right after Civil War.
Yeah.
So why did you release this after all the Avengers have been disbanded? It doesn't make any sense. So with that kind of complicated timeline, I feel like people wouldn't have been as engaged to go watch it. They would have probably been like, okay, one time and done, and it would have probably grossed little, or it would have grossed not as much as it would have, than it would have released today.
Okay.
I think that with the stall, people have been more excited to go back to theaters, and they've missed that MCU,
feeling. Yeah, I can definitely, because I feel like this was a lot of people's time out to the movies. Like I feel like people were waiting and waiting for something, like, because even like I know Godzilla vs. Kong had like the biggest opening, but again, everything's gonna constantly break that record of biggest opening
because more and more is gonna open up.
Exactly, So I feel like again, like I feel like on all of social medias, who people were going to see Black Widow, it's like, oh, first time back in the movies. Oh, this is my first time to the movies in 2 years. Even though I mean like. Exactly. It's like you haven't been there since July 2019. I find that hard to believe because I feel like I'm there every week.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the only thing I will say is that like because like you say Black Widow wasn't a selling character, and I do agree with that, but neither was Iron Man when he started. Neither was really Captain America. All people knew were like Hulk, Spider-Man.
The MCU was a renaissance of basically comic book interests again. Because sales in comic books went up after Iron Man came out. Yeah. Hulk didn't do much. I think Hulk was kind of like an overplayed kind of Marvel character.
Because they put out a Hulk movie like right after. Yeah. So it wasn't that long between, is Ang Lee's Hulk and then the Incredible Hulk? Yeah. And everyone was confused. It's like, is this a sequel? Or is this...
Wasn't it like a prequel sequel? Because like the opening title had like hints of the Hulk from like to what Eric Bana's Hulk.
Yeah.
But it had like that. It felt like it felt like it was a part of that film, but it was a brand new fresh take.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that because you waited so long for another MCU movie, people were like holding on to that excitement. Yeah, and that's probably why it's doing so well now as well. Like part of it is that it's a fantastic movie, and you really want to go watch it again. I do. I definitely do. But you know that hold off that they waited for about 14 months to go watch it, it makes people want to go see it again. It's like definitely like this is such a great movie and all this other stuff. But also you have that crowd that's like I haven't been to the movie so long, and this seems like a very interesting movie to go watch, and that's why you have bigger numbers coming in. It's probably for that reason. Miguel, I know I cut you off earlier. Were you going to say anything?
I was just going to say to answer your question, I don't see it more of like the money side. I just if I don't set expectations, I don't get disappointed. And even though it has been 14 months since a last Marvel movie, or since it was supposed to be released, I was just excited to see that credit scene again. And the credits roll, that I mean, was I expecting a good story? Yes, I usually do. With any movie, regardless if it's Marvel or not, I like to see a beginning, a middle, and this definitely had that. Even though it had a couple back and forth, it was fun, and I had a good time with it. So that was just my take with it. I didn't have much expectations, but I was definitely impressed with what I saw. And I think what saved the movie more too is just everyone's dynamic, that family that Natasha has. With Red Guardian, with Yelena, with Melina, that definitely saved and gave him more heart, because that dinner scene was gold. For sure.
Yeah, because you and I went into this not having any expectations, right?
Yeah, we went in with not big expectations. I wasn't expecting a lot, but I expected at least to be fun. But I walked out really satisfied.
Yeah. Adam, you said this before. It was like you immediately went to Winter Soldier, right?
Yeah.
And for me, at least, I think you and I have spoken about this. Winter Soldier is probably the funnest MCU movie. Not the best, but it's probably the funnest, if that's even a word, out of all the MCU movies. And that's just because it took itself seriously in a way.
Yeah.
It was like an action, darker movie. And I think it's before Disney acquired Marvel, right?
No, it was the second or third under its release. So Avengers was the first one to be funded.
Yeah.
But it wasn't promoted.
No.
It was still it was still Paramount Pictures. Paramount Pictures was obviously had sold it at the time. Or weren't just gonna do it. But Iron Man 3 was the first one. But yeah, definitely I get what you mean with the whole winter I feel like Winter Soldier was the first consequential film.
That's it. The consequential one.
There you say it. Thank you.
That's the word you look. That's the word I was looking for.
It's the first one to have impact on the story that we're telling.
Yeah, because the Russo brothers wrote that one, right?
That's the first one they took over.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is true or not, but the script or the screenplay for this was darker. And when Disney was looking over it, they kind of said, okay, we can change a couple things here and there, but it still kept that kind of like serious, darker tone. Yeah. And that's what Black Widow essentially did, in my opinion. I think that it did sell on the fact that it wasn't going... I'm laughing because I'm thinking of one scene in particular. I'll mention it right now. It got that darker tone right, where it's like, this wasn't like necessarily a kids movie.
Yeah.
It's like a movie that's like, if you're a Marvel fan, if you've like, watched all these MCU movies that have come out beforehand, and you're a little bit older now, right? This is the type of movie that you can sit down and say like, wow, we're going to take it seriously. And the reason I'm laughing is the scene that reminded me of how serious it went was when Romanov was talking to Drakov and going like, oh, you don't think I would have thought about, the pheromones thing? I was already a step ahead of you. I'm going to go ahead and cut off, what is it called? My receptors or whatever. And then she just slams her head on the desk. I literally, in the theater, I was like, oh my God, I literally cringed because I was ready for it, but I wasn't ready for it. Yeah. And like that scene in particular, show that scene to a 5-year-old. Could you imagine what like their initial thought was? Exactly. Yeah. No.
I'm gonna do that at home.
I don't think they'd understand.
Yeah. It's like you don't see that.
Yeah.
And Winter Soldier, the first opening sequence is him infiltrating a boat where he's literally like throwing the shield around. There's literally a scene where he like bounces a shield off a wall and it hits a dude on the chest like hard enough where you can feel it, and he falls off the boat and you're like, oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of his first scenes is him jumping into an ocean.
Oh yeah, he jumps off a plane.
That alone is in the middle of the night, no parachute. It's raining out. Like that terrifies me. Like that.
Into the dark abyss.
Like I have no problem with water, but at night, hell.
With sharks? What? The Kraken? No.
Yeah. Aquaman's out there, man.
But it's like that. Yeah, it's Winter Soldier on steroids. That's kind of what I got. Yeah. It really sold itself on that whole espionage thing. Yeah. Miguel, you.
Winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, Winter Soldier was actually so I kind of watched when I got into the MCU, and when I became an MCU fan was actually like after Iron Man had released. I remember actually seeing Captain America in theaters and not liking it, the first one. I actually saw it here when I was in San Diego, and then Avengers released, and I saw Avengers. I didn't know that I had to watch it in order, so I went back. But Avengers I had fun with, and then it wasn't until the Winter Soldier release that I was like, oh my god, and it just blew my mind. And I actually went back and I started it from The Incredible Hulk, and then Iron Man, followed by Captain, followed by Thor. Thor at the time was actually one of my favorites until mostly because of Natalie Portman. I'm a big Natalie Portman fan. Adam hates her.
I can't.
I know. Adam hates her.
I'm about to walk out. I'm about to walk out. I'm about to end this episode
because you know what she's gonna be? She's gonna be Thor. So you're gonna have to deal with that. Anyway,
boom.
You're gonna have to deal with my Natalie Portman fandom. Like, I have a club for her. We have shirts. We have sweaters. We have bracelets. No, but yeah, Winter Soldier definitely elevated the love for it, and I gotta thank the Russo brothers, and I think they've handled it pretty well ever since then. I think as a trilogy, the Captain America trilogy is pretty good. I think the sequel's better than the first one for sure.
I was like,
and Civil War wraps it up, but Civil War just had so much going on, especially with characters, even though it is still pretty good.
I completely forgot Civil War was a Captain America movie.
Should have been Avengers 2.5.
Yeah, it was.
It feels like an Avengers, but it's just because of all the characters involved, and then obviously the introduction of Spider-Man, that was fun.
I feel like, oh, sorry, Miguel, go ahead. Finish go ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah.
I was ending my point, so you're good.
Oh my god!
I'm telling you, they're us essentially. No, you go. Well, I was already over, so whatever, it's fine. All that's left is like the yelling. Adam, when are you gonna like freak out? You need to start yelling into the mic and me. If you want to complete your like full, evolution of me, you got to yell into the mic and call Adam or call Miguel some names and stuff.
Yeah, See, the thing about that is that like I'm always angry, so.
Miguel has to say, "Hold on," and then you get madder. What
am I supposed to hold on to?
No, hold on. She came down in a bubble. Okay,
in a bubble,
brown.
You're gonna sit there and tell me that I'm wrong?
Grow up.
I'm sorry.
Right. No, yeah, but, not to I guess trail off, but I feel like one of the biggest things that Disney missed out on making Civil War not an Avengers film was not using the title Avengers. Yeah. Because I feel like you couldn't use characters because they were only able to use Hulk in Avengers title films until I think Warner Brothers the
Hulk wasn't in Civil War, huh?
Yeah, or Universal. Universal didn't let Disney use. They didn't want to work with Disney. With the whole that's why they didn't do Hulk films, but I guess they'd reached the agreement for Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, yeah, we'll let you use it for another film.
Yeah, because originally they were going to do like a World War Hulk or a Planet Hulk movie. But again, they couldn't obtain the rights to Hulk because Universal still owns rights to a Hulk titled film.
I see.
That's the thing. Yeah.
So it's kind of weird like thinking about that. So how are they letting them use Abomination in Shang-Chi?
Because technically, those characters, I guess they must have came to the agreement now. That's another thing. And then now they're putting out a She-Hulk series that features Hulk in it.
Yeah.
And Daredevil.
And Daredevil.
What, Daredevil's in
No, this is all speculation, but confirmed.
But
no, manifest it and Daredevil.
No, there's like rumors speculating.
Daredevil's in the series
because
it is.
He has to be.
Because
I feel like he has to be.
Yeah, because She-Hulk's character, she's a lawyer.
Yeah, and she's too expensive.
So is it
what's
his name?
Who else is a lawyer?
Who?
Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
So that's why they're saying that like Matt Murdock can make an appearance.
What's the actor that played Matt Murdock in the
Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox. So Charlie Cox supposedly is in this one?
Yeah.
He was a great Matt Murdock.
I'm actually rewatching Daredevil and
I've been meaning to.
You've never seen it?
I've seen it. No, I've been meaning to rewatch. No, I never finished Punisher because I've watched season 1 of Punisher, but I haven't finished the second season.
Oh. I haven't seen the second season either. But I loved Punisher when it did release too. I was obsessing over it. I loved it. I think John Bernthal embodies him too pretty well.
So season 2,
if we could see, what was the actor's name for the first Punisher movie?
Oh, Thomas Jane.
Yeah, if we see those guys interacting in some alternate universe, it'd be so much fun.
That'd be funny. No, but season 2 of The Punisher is actually really good. It's not too bad. I'm a little disappointed how they brought in Jigsaw in a way because that's his villain. Yeah. But the way they did about it was like, oh yeah, because he's sometimes he's written in 2 different ways. Jigsaw.
Wait, hold on, spoilers. I haven't seen it yet. Come on, man.
But it gets it gets hinted at the end of season 1.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look, we have spoiler warnings for the audience, not spoiler warnings for
the
people
I haven't
here.
seen it yet. I know it's been out like 3 years, and I'll probably never watch it. But spoilers, man. Come on.
It's been 3 years?
No, I'm just...
Where am I? Where have I been this whole time?
Yeah.
It's okay. I've never seen the Punisher series, so...
It's great. What are you doing?
Because okay.
Well, hang on.
No. Can
pause?
I pause?
We're pausing this recording, and you're gonna binge watch.
Wait, excuse me. Who gave you the rights to take the steering wheel on this issue? Huh?
It's in my contract.
Yeah. Can I defend myself? I feel like I always have to defend
myself.
I haven't
signed anything, so...
I feel like you defend yourself. I don't think you need to, but you always feel
Well,
like
he's coming at me.
All right, you have a 15-second window to
15-second window?
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. This is your show. You can do whatever you want.
I'm not going to defend myself.
Really quick, we are reaching a half an hour right now.
Yeah, I have a timer right here, too.
So do I.
Okay, well, I got mine. We can use both.
We both got timers. Why is this
fighting right now?
Arguing?
We're not arguing.
Okay.
You're making me raise
You're really gonna fight in front of your guests? Like, come
on, guys. I gotta go home. My mom's calling me right now. Your phone rings. Well, too bad, Adam, because your phone's being used to record. So
it's probably gonna die.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I know.
I hope. I hope.
Don't manifest it. Manifest Mephisto. Manifest Mephisto. That's a tongue twister right there.
It is.
All right. So back to Black Widow. We talked about what we liked.
Yeah.
So what we liked about the movie and everything. We can agree. I didn't know that. We all mutually agree that Winter Soldier was like one of the best or the best.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the best
MCU movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you're gonna get any dark in terms of like individual character, because like obviously Endgame is dark. Mm-hmm. Well towards the end, but even Infinity War was dark, but still had those lighter tones to it.
It was consequential, but not as consequential as Winter Soldier. Because I understand what you mean by that. Yeah. That Winter Soldier was like a domino effect. It was the one that started it, and then everything
led to another.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it led to Civil War as well. Well, it obviously led to Civil War as well because Cap no longer entrusts in the government, and when Tony tries to reinstate the government back into the Avengers. That's where the problem starts.
Hold up, hey, relax. You're coming at us like.
Well, hold on, I will say I am Team Iron Man to begin with.
Yeah, we actually had a fight, and we stopped talking for a couple of years because of that. I was like, "You're Team Iron Man."
We didn't. No, it was a couple months.
Sorry, bleep me out.
No, did you cuss?
Huh? Yeah, I did. Bleep me.
I didn't hear anything. I didn't even catch it.
I was like, "Don't do it! Don't do it!" And
the aggravation's coming from the phone call. You're just like, I'm gonna freaking throw my arms into the screen. I'm gonna choke you out.
I was triggered. Right. Yeah, I was like, Iron Man. It's Cap, bro. Cap's for the reason.
Yeah.
It's just a child.
I think I was Team Iron Man.
You would be.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
I'm not joking. I'm trying to
Renee, I'm so glad you have a brain. Like, you have some sense. You have understanding of the world.
Yes.
Because obviously, a playboy philanthropist doesn't understand the common people. It doesn't, like, his own property almost killed him, and yet he's still
Yeah,
with us.
yeah, because we didn't mean to have his name on it. We all agreed that it was technically an Avengers movie, so
because we shouldn't have rules.
Oh my God.
That is what Iron Man. That's what Iron Man's implementing. Cap's fighting for no rules. They should do whatever they want.
Mhm.
Iron Man's trying to put the rules back into the Avengers.
Yes, which
That's why.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I was saying that
I do.
sarcastically.
So, are you actually Team Cap?
No, I'm Team Iron Man.
So, where's the sarcasm?
That's a good question.
I'm so
Moving on.
confused.
Dude,
Dude, it's early morning, man.
Black Widow.
Yeah. So this
We're
all
jumping
stemmed
all
from
over
Black
the place.
Widow.
I mean, because that's the thing is that Black Widow, I think, is probably one of the best ways to introduce Phase 4. Because Winter Soldier, like, again, going back to the point of the domino effect that Winter Soldier did, Black Widow brings that aspect back into the MCU where you get that darker tone. This isn't just a kids movie. This is like a movie for the fans that want to know a little bit more backstory to Black Widow, and the intensity stays the entire way through.
Yeah.
You know, personally, I can say that the movie wasn't all that fantastic for me. Like, if we're gonna like nitpick at some imperfections, the CGI was a little bit overdone.
Yeah.
I felt like the story dropped in a lot of places. Like, for me, and I mentioned this yesterday, it's unforgivable for the villain to forget the key asset to his entire plan.
Yeah.
If Drakov had the Red Room, he had widows implemented all over the world, he was causing massive world problems throughout the years that he was in service, all these different things, how great and, how powerful he is, for him to all of a sudden essentially forget his ring.
Yeah.
It doesn't add up. Like, that's an unforgivable part of the story. For someone so smart, you'd think that the ring he uses to unlock the computer would still be on his finger.
I feel like the ring would unlock like everything he needs to get into.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that'd be like a master key for him.
Yeah,
and with all his money, how would it not be?
Yeah, and he forgot it. He forgot it, which is
I gotta go back.
Yeah.
One thing I would like to say about like the MCU, what I'm liking they're starting to introduce, in general in movies, is just like people with money who just want to go ruin things.
I mean, that's the whole.
Oh, and they love having like their secret hideouts in the sky because they love crashing them down.
All I'm gonna say, look, there was a city in the cloud. This is a prequel to Star Wars.
Imagine. That's how they.
No,
Fast and Furious cross Jurassic Park. Think again. Avengers.
Hang on.
Star Wars.
Heard it here first.
Speaking of Fast and the Furious,
keeping up with the
family.
nerds.
Oh, family.
Let's talk about family for a minute because family was a theme here in Black Widow. I was expecting Vin Diesel to just roll out of nowhere and be like,
"No,
you need help."
100%, because you see in films, you see a lot of like father-son relationships or father-daughter relationships or mother-kids. This is a sister movie, which is fantastic. Because I do agree, it is a family movie, but the relationship between Elena and Natasha was just, the chemistry was just great. Like, just the back and forth banter, and even those like small moments where it just cut itself away from like the scenes just to have a conversation between the two, it like sold you on that fact. It's like, can you at least tell me that my vest looks cool, please? You put a lot of stuff in the pockets.
Hang on.
She's like, why do you do that thing when you like? Why do you pose? Why do you do that hair?
Oh my gosh!
Why do you do that?
I gotta say, you gotta hand it off to Marvel Writers right there, because think about it, like, it's passed on as a joke, like, oh, this is my first piece of clothing that I've ever got to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've ever been able to buy myself.
Mm-hmm.
But how messed up is that?
Yeah.
Being a part of the Black Widow program or whatever, not by choice,
Yeah.
We gotta
And
give
she just
Jack
bought-
Schaefer a shout out for that, because Jack Schaefer, who was also in charge of WandaVision, I think she's done an amazing job so far with Phase 4. Just like,
was she the writer?
introducing? Yeah, she's the story. She's the storyboard.
For Black
credit
Widow too?
For Black Widow, yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I know
definitely
that.
really praise her. I think there's another one. There's another writing credit for Black Widow, but let me just pull that up.
She's
real
very
quick.
if she did the screenplay for both Black Widow and WandaVision, I gotta say she's very good at putting in the small details.
Yeah.
That really
yeah.
sell
She
you
was
into it.
the lead. I think she was the head writer for WandaVision. Like, she was the one. What is it called? What's the terminology for it? Ned Benson is also credited, but I'm not entirely sure.
not
But
for
yeah,
Black
she's
Widow.
Jack Schaefer. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the details in it, because my fiance has a sister, and I was telling her throughout the movie, I'm like, dude, this literally reminds me of like both of you guys, of how like you guys back and forth banter over like the smallest little things, and it really sold me on the relationship, because the whole family aspect of like Red Guardian and Melina and Elena and Natasha, like that didn't sell me until the end. For me personally, it's the story was their relationship, how they lost each other only to find each other again, and they never lost that kind of sister relationship, even though,
they knew it was fake.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fake relationship. Yeah. But Elena mentions this, like, it was real to me at that. You're telling me that the fakest part of my life, or the best part of my life, was fake. You can't do that. And I felt emotional. I'm like, that's kind of like,
and it goes to show like how dark we're keeping Phase 4.
Mm-hmm.
And that obviously we're seeing that carry on to like the movies, but like think how dark WandaVision was, how she's it really was, because she's struggling with grief, and she's going and alternating reality.
It was, I would say, but actually, Renee, go ahead and like, do you have opinions on WandaVision? For like in terms of like how dark it was, because I know we talked about it before.
We talked about it before. The way that it tackled on like grieving and stuff like that, especially how Wanda grieved and stuff, how she dealt with, because she lost her family, then she lost her brother, and then now she lost the man that she loved.
Her vision.
Yeah.
It's no longer 2020.
You're just hitting all these little jokes.
No longer 20. We don't have to walk around eggshells.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off.
No, yeah, you're right. It is a very okay. WandaVision was emotionally and mentally dark.
Yeah.
This was darker in terms of the violence.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then look at Falcon and the Winter Soldier. How dark that was politically.
Is dark the right word to use in this sense, though?
It's very grim.
It's overplayed. That's probably a better word.
It's grim.
Because dark gets overplayed. And
it's used very vaguely.
Yeah.
This is dark.
But it points out major issues in the real world when it comes to like,
it's just, I believe the word would just be, it's real. Like some real life life in a movie. Life things, like that's like she was battling depression. She was going through depression. She was going through the I think it's the 5 stages of grief.
Yeah.
Which is like the first one was like denial, and then like the second one's like anger, and then it's like acceptance and all that stuff. But like she progressively loses it every episode, and you can see it too, like even through the little the details when she's like, welcome back, or like previously on WandaVision, like her enthusiasm is lost through each beginning episode until the very end. It's like previously on WandaVision, and it's a quick summary of things, but again, the small details, man, that really does really matter in the end. Sorry.
No,
everybody out for a loop there.
Well, no, you're good.
I just feel like the MCU entirely is getting more like grim. We're getting more serious. There's these more serious tones.
So one of the things that I was talking to Renee about yesterday was, for me, a good comic book movie has to sell itself as a comic book movie.
Yeah.
I like it's probably one of the reasons as to why, and don't hate me for this, Renee, it's probably one of the reasons why I can't really fall in love with the Dark Knight trilogy, because it's not a comic book Batman movie. This is a Nolan. There's a reference to Nolan. Hang on.
Or go ahead. Well, hang on. I got one pipe bomb I'm gonna drop on this show.
Wow.
Pipe bomb. All right.
Okay, so if you guys don't know, FYI, and I feel like I gotta clarify this, because I feel like people think one way and it's incorrect. I don't hate Christopher Nolan.
Neither do I.
Okay. Oh, wait, are you on the boat with me? Oh, welcome aboard, Adam. Come in with me on this whole Nolan thing.
I have this debate with my buddy Abraham, because his favorite movie of all time is The Dark Knight.
Really?
Yeah. Mind you, he doesn't know comic books.
I'm
not saying I do either, but I'm more knowledgeable than he is.
Straight up, I know more.
Well,
than
that's the thing. I feel like people that are really into Batman without watching The Dark Knight or knowing about The Dark Knight, when you watch it, you're not really satisfied. As a Batman
because it's
fan.
not a comic book movie. Yeah. It's a Nolan interpretation of what a Batman movie is, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. Like, or actually, let me finish this point, and then you can go with your pipe bomb on Nolan, because I think you and I are on the same boat. And I got to say right now, I don't hate Christopher Nolan. I just, I'm not in agreement with a lot of the things of how he tells his stories. He's a great filmmaker. I
think he does everything better outside the comic book realm.
Yes, I think that in terms of film production and how he directs movies or how he directs his movies, he's leading all of that in the industry. He's top dog in the industry. His storytelling has a lot to be left to desire. But what I mean by The Dark Knight not being a comic book movie is that it, like Renee said, it doesn't leave you satisfied. It's just not a satisfactory comic book movie. Black Widow, Winter Soldier, Endgame, Infinity War, all those MCU movies, even though they can't be considered to be top films in the industry, they're not Martin Scorsese films, they're not Ridley Scott films, they're not the popular ones that are going to win Oscars and stuff. They make you feel things that comic books make you feel. Yeah. You've ever picked up an issue, you're reading it, and then you make you laugh or you talk to yourself, or you turn the page, you get to a panel, and you're like, oh my God, is this actually going to happen? You turn to the next page, and then the big thing, you're like, holy crap, it just ends there. That's what these movies do. Yeah. And Black Widow did that the entire way. It essentially did not stop itself, and every aspect of it was kind of the pace of it was a comic book. Yeah. You had your serious, you had your action, you had your comic relief, and then it went back to a serious tone. It felt very comic booky, and that personally was my thing. Yeah. Yeah.
But back to my pipe drum. Heath Ledger's Joker is only iconic because he's dead.
Oh, stop.
No, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way or anything, because Heath Ledger's a great. Heath Ledger has done a lot of stuff. But the only reason his Joker stands out is because he's dead.
I will say that in order when he got, was it Best Supporting Actor?
Yeah.
His death had a lot to do with it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But it's... I was in a... Oh, my God. I had to hold myself back.
Actually, go for it. If you want to cuss, I can bleep this out.
Okay, that's one fine. Cuss word.
Well, that's the thing.
Sorry, Mom, because I know you're going to be listening to this later and you're not going to like it, but... It's complete freaking bullshit that he won that shit. I'm sorry. Because why the fuck didn't Chadwick Boseman win then?
Yeah, that's true.
Why the fuck was he advertised all night to win? And they moved, and they for the Oscars they moved what is it, Best Actor to the end of the night?
Yeah.
And hyped up Chadwick Boseman. Oh my gosh. Oscars is bullshit, man.
Well, we've been knowing that the Oscars
it's like the Grammys,
a lot of crap.
But it is what it is.
And at the same time, I think we got to also kind of set in the factors politically what was going on.
Exactly. Even more reason for Chadwick to have won.
Yeah, but then anyway,
it's hypocritical because this last year. It is hypocritical. This last year you've been fighting this movement on Black Lives Matter, but when they're supposed to matter the most, when we're supposed to have important people in movies and the government, they're nowhere to be found.
Yeah. I mean, no, 100% agreed.
Don't get me wrong. I don't want to say that the way Black Lives Matter, that way they handle things are correct.
Yeah.
I feel like fighting in silence says a lot more than going and raising anarchy. That's why I don't like the Joker either, though. But
I don't think you're supposed to like the Joker.
Well, yeah, because I mean, that's people like the Joker because he goes and ruins stuff.
So we've had a thing about this before, where we were saying how the Joker isn't necessarily someone to look forward to and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, when people say, "Oh man, I relate with the Joker a lot," what? You
need help, and I will help you get it. I'm not a licensed therapist, but I will be one for the hour that you need it.
Do I look like Harley Quinn? No.
Yeah.
No. Going back to Black Widow real quick. Again, I'll repeat the whole thing. The plot was a lot. There's a lot left to be desired in terms of the plot. I think one of the last points to talk about, honestly, would be the Taskmaster reveal. How it was portrayed. Because we'll get into that, how she was portrayed.
Yeah,
plot twist, and then the end credit scene, what we think this is going to lead up into, because we do have to wrap it up in the next 10-ish minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes. So, quick Taskmaster. I'll leave my end to the. I'll leave my part at the end. Renee, do you have anything?
Yeah. So overall, I wasn't I wasn't thinking that Taskmaster was going to be used a lot in this movie. But overall, I did enjoy how Taskmaster was portrayed in this film. The reveal wasn't too bad. I didn't like it or didn't hate it at the same time, but I felt like it felt good for the story of Black Widow. It was like, okay, that makes sense. I was like, okay. And it didn't feel like a big reveal to me because, again, I think Miguel hinted at it. They talked about it like early in the film. They
Well, he talked about Avengers being. He said he meant Loki mentions Dreykov's daughter. I thought she was Dreykov's daughter. I thought that's what Loki was referring to. Up until this film, they revealed that Natasha was Dreykov's daughter, and I was like, "Oh, okay, all right."
It could have been.
That would have been a bigger that would have been a kind of cooler thing, but.
Or
I don't know. I mean, like,
what if she should have been another? Like, she should have.
You know what? Actually, speaking of that, remember? It's actually during the whole reveal when Scarlett is actually. I mean, Natasha is actually confronting Draco about her mother, and wondering like, what did you do with her? And then he's like, yeah, I put her like under this nice little tree and stuff like that. And then when he said that, and then we get the reveal, I at first thought that we were going to get Natasha's mother, and that he actually didn't kill her. He implanted, like, he put in the chip on her mother just because she had that relentless drive. She was fearless, and then just used her as a taskmaster.
I see.
That's what I thought in the beginning, and then we really revealed that it's her. It's actually his daughter, and that's even more sadistic because it's like this guy really doesn't feel anything at all. Like he just honestly sees these people as just like numbers.
Yeah. So overall, what did you think of the Taskmaster portrayal? Are you a Taskmaster fan at all or
no? No, actually,
same here.
Not really. I don't really follow him at all. Actually, I wanted to see if he was fun because of his fighting abilities, and then you can easily see how they were saying that he fought like Natasha's friends. And I saw Winter Soldier moves in there. I saw a little bit of Spider-Man in there. I saw even some Captain America moves too, and I was like, that's impressive.
Oh, that was, Spider-Man.
When she's swinging on the. I've had one encounter with the Taskmaster. Well, one where I've been introduced to the character, Spider-Man PS4. I don't know if you guys have played that game.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I don't assume.
Where is it?
He's like, if we play video games.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, so I mean, I made the assumption that he's just kind of like a mercenary. He's gonna go wherever his biggest buck is. So that's what I was more expecting. I don't want to say I was disappointed. I think for story reasons, it being the daughter made the most sense. I thought it was gonna be the mom, Melina, because they shoot her, and then suddenly she's gone. She's taken off. And I was like, Taskmaster, like right there. Then she's alive. And I was like, okay, it's probably the daughter now. Because they were dwelling on, I killed the daughter, and then I think Liliana says like, well, did you see a body? Like, okay, she's alive. It's obvious. It's okay. It's all right. Like I'm not upset.
I think I'm probably the biggest Taskmaster fan amongst the four of us here.
Yes.
I think that was the biggest like looking forward to aspect of this movie for me. Because I've followed Taskmaster since I was a kid, and I thought he was cool. I mean, the ability to mimic the fighting styles of people he fights within seconds is dope. Like he doesn't get the full on powers, but to mimic that ability. And I think the one thing that stuck with me as a kid, because I love Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. What made Taskmaster cool was Spider-Man files in the style of Spider. That's his thing, right? And so when Taskmaster was introduced, he's like, oh yeah, I can mimic the ability of I can mimic the fighting style of a spider. I'm like, that's dope. And so I really loved him. So when it was revealed that it was Dreykov's daughter to be Taskmaster, and the way that she learns the abilities is through a microchip, I looked at Renee and I was like slightly disappointed because I wasn't really looking towards that. I'll be honest, I wasn't really thinking about it. So to me, the reveal was the daughter wasn't that big of a surprise. It technically was because I was expecting this to be a guy. But I did end up liking Taskmaster a lot. And it's because it didn't, even though it wasn't a full-on one-to-one reference, it borrowed from its original origin and made it different. And again, people forget this happens in comic books. This was the Ultimate series. Ultimate series in Marvel Comics was huge when it came to that, rewriting the way origins were, created, how certain superheroes came to be, all these different things. People forget that, superheroes change origin stories. I think DC fans are more used to that because
I feel like there's a misconception that there's one origin story.
Yeah.
But yet there's a multiverse of how they became their respective roles.
You don't change the origins of popular characters. You don't change the origins of Spider-Man. You don't change the origins of Superman. You don't change the origins of Batman. You don't change the origins of Captain America. But you can change how certain people were created.
Those who need it.
Yeah, because they're not super
to
popular.
Fit.
Exactly. Because they're not super popular characters. So I completely understand. I think Taskmaster's one of them. Taskmaster wasn't necessarily introduced as like the character that everyone knows, but I think the way they wrote him into this, or they wrote her into this, is pretty great.
It made sense.
Yeah, exactly.
It made sense, and it needed to make more sense than it needed to be original.
Yeah, exactly.
Because again, you're wrapping up a storyline for a character. You can't have things flying all over the place.
Yeah.
It's like this is pre a snap. This is pre Infinity War. You can't. The MCU was very grounded up until Infinity War.
Exactly.
And this was the right amount of grounded.
Yeah. Predictions before we wrap this show up. Renee, you got anything?
I think that now moving forward, as of obviously we'll be following Natasha's sister as the new Black Widow now.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's the second one, right?
Yeah.
She's the second one to use the name.
Yeah.
Black Widow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miguel?
Wait, what was the question? Sorry.
It's a prediction.
He's like Elena. He's like, oh
predict-
my God, Elena. Yes. That's all that's on his mind.
That's all man. I was like, Elena, I'm here for it. Predictions. Elena.
Adam?
Mephisto. I'm just kidding. No.
No, you used it up. That's it.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. No,
that's it, guys. Thank you for listening. This ain't even my show.
What's your prediction?
No, honestly, I mean, she's got to be in Hawkeye, right?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, she's
gotta
be
be
in
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
I'm excited for what's her name? Hawkeye's daughter.
Oh, no, it's not his daughter.
No.
It's just who he's training.
Yeah, it's a Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
Is it
I gotta
Kate
say,
Bishop?
Yeah. Kate,
all right.
Kate Bishop. Yeah.
I gotta
Okay,
say,
Bishop. I'm excited.
Yelena's gonna
to
get on the
fight.
train where it's like, it should have been Hawkeye who was thrown off.
So I think
Alpha
whoever's
Vormir.
hunting them down in New York from those set is probably Yelena.
Oh, okay.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like she's okay. This girl was in because it was Lady Hydra, right? That's the girl with the purple streak in her hair.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Hydra. Am I right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that opens the door for like John Walker coming back.
Yes.
Captain America.
So that jumps into my prediction where did we agree on this? The Dark Avengers?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be the continuation of the creation of the Dark Avengers. But I will say this, because I mean, Dark Avengers, or whatever Disney wants to call it at the end of the day, you're going to have U.S. Agent and Elena Black Widow work together. It's just a matter of time before we get other superheroes turned mercenaries to join this to join this group. I would really like to see Taskmaster and the Black Widows. And I know you probably don't agree with me on this, but it only makes sense to continue the story of Taskmaster and to kind of like go full circle on its creation.
Yeah.
Like how, in the comic books, he ends up training certain, villains. He ends up training Crossbones. That's, he ends up training Crossbones and doing all that.
Okay.
It would make sense for her to use that knowledge to essentially train the Black Widows and then create her own mercenary group of Black Widows to send out into the world to kind of stop or, for hire Black Widows, to, either stop or create, stuff or problems in the world and stuff
And
like
then
that.
just because you can, you throw in Silver Sable and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, big brain.
Yeah.
Big brain.
Do you think eventually we're going to see Elena join the Avengers, though?
No, I think the Avengers are fully disbanded.
You think so? Well, I thought they're making the fifth one.
No.
No,
They're making a fifth one.
Are they?
They're leading up to leading up, but they are planning another Avengers movie.
With who?
Feige said he doesn't know when it's happening, but it is happening.
I don't think it's an Avengers film.
I think it is.
It might be like New Avengers.
I think
like,
so.
That's what he's
Young
young
Avengers.
Young or New Avengers. He's
Yeah.
working on another. I mean, they have to make another Avengers. This is Disney we're talking about. They
It's a selling.
The
Yeah.
Avengers name is money making.
Yeah.
They cannot.
But they can't call it the Avengers. The Avengers
well,
are
no,
gone.
that's the
It's-
thing. The
yeah.
Avengers are gone.
The new Avengers.
New Avengers. You got Young Avengers. You can do Dark Avengers as well too. That's the thing.
The Avengers will return.
Yeah, I see that.
The original cast, I think so. I think they'll all be back. You got
Cameos.
time travel now.
Cameos. No, you have multiverse manipulation
Well, it's time travel.
on a jet ski.
No.
Time travel.
Exactly. You got time travel.
We're gonna wrap it up here, guys,
Yeah.
because we're hitting that mark where we gotta close out and stuff like that. But before we wrap it up, Miguel, Adam, thank you guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
No,
It's
honestly,
been a lot of
thank
fun.
you.
This has
Thank
been
you.
a fun podcast.
Yeah, it's been great, and I think our listeners are going to really enjoy hearing you guys' opinions and stuff. And again, where can they find you guys? So one last time.
Do you want me to do it, Miguel? Or you want to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay. You can find us on Christian Mingle, Farmers Only.
I was like,
no, you can find us on YouTube, Facebook. If MySpace is a thing, we'll be creating that.
Yeah.
We'll be creating a MySpace.
I
totally
MySpace
decked
is
out.
a thing.
Oh, okay. Then
It's a
we're
music app now.
just announced breaking on Keeping Up with the Nerds podcast. Our Real Addiction set to create Facebook page. This is live MySpace page. This is live breaking news. Write me the check. But no, yeah, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, soon to be on Twitter and TikTok, but I don't know when I'll get to that.
and your guys' handle is our
Oh,
real
yes. Our
REE.
Real Addiction, double E, no A, when you're spelling real. But yeah, that's where you can find us.
Perfect, and I love the name Our Real.
Yeah.
My fiance was like, "Oh, that's a clever name." I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
I guess also it's safe to say to announce that you guys will be on our podcast soon, right?
Hopefully, yeah.
Definitely,
We'd
yeah.
love to be on.
We can talk right after.
Yeah, of
because we
course.
have some ideas.
Yeah, hit us with them. We're ready. We're
Yeah.
ready. And if
No
this is
problem.
the kind of chemistry that we're
Well,
gonna be feeling,
okay,
it's-
I'll say another thing. We want to, well, at least I want to keep exclusivity to this show for Black Widow.
Okay.
So if my listeners want to hear us talk about Black Widow, they're gonna have to come check out Keeping Up with the Nerds.
That's fine.
Welcome, guys.
Yeah.
Cool.
Our
And
Real
if-
Addiction fans.
And
Thank
when you
for
come on and
coming
talk about our stuff, if your listeners
fine.
want to hear you talk about what we have to talk, what
Yeah.
we're going to be talking about,
Mhm.
they got to come listen to us.
why
Yeah.
Brian doesn't like Christopher Nolan. The episode.
That's a whole two-parter.
We will have you on every week if you want to be on.
I appreciate it. But thank you guys once again for being on here. It's been tons of fun. To wrap it up on our side, follow us on our socials, Instagram and Twitter, Keeping Up with the Nerds. Our handles are a little bit different. We also got a website, keepingupwiththenerds.com, where you guys can find all links to new videos, podcasts, timers, everything like that. We will also be spotlighting you guys on there, so you guys are going to have your own little page on there as well. So
Thank you.
Keep a
We
lookout
got
for
no
that.
how to. We do the same, but we got no clue how to do that.
We can help you guys. Don't
Yes,
worry.
no problem.
Yeah, that's why we network. But yeah, so check us out on our website. If you have not, subscribe to our YouTube channel, head on over. If you're not listening to it on there, subscribe, hit that like button, notification button, all the good stuff. And you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Podbean every Wednesdays at 11:30. Thank you guys for joining us at this issue at Keeping Up with the Nerds. Renee, do you have the script ready?
No,
Oh, buddy.
it's all right. I'm like,
Oh my God.
I can monologue if you'd like.
So for this closing segment, we're gonna go and say Renee, Brian, Adam, Miguel. You're the last one. You got that?
Okay.
It's one take.
Yeah, man.
One take. One take. We can't mess this up.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
This
You gotta
is a
be ready.
lot.
You gotta be
Oh,
ready.
God.
You got the energy. You got it? You ready?
yes.
All right, guys. Here we go. We're gonna wrap it up. Renee, hit it.
This has been Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue 55. My name is Renee.
This is Brian.
I'm Adam.
I'm Miguel.
Recording at Undercity Comics in Whittier, California. We want to thank you, everyone, for listening to this issue and hope to see you all next time.